If it's one thing I'm sick of, it's all the black pilling. I'm tired of it. Tired of the black pilling. Like, if something really bad happens, I can understand why we would feel a certain type of way about it, why we would be demoralized. We were, plenty of bad things happen, and, we have a right to feel a certain type of way about it. But we live in a time now where every time something even remotely not good happens, everybody on the right just starts losing their fucking minds. And I'm tired of it. All right. Look, here's just the news. That is a website I like and I read a lot. Election night bloodbath sends warning to GOP for midterms. It wasn't a fucking bloodbath. Okay, yes. Like, Republicans didn't win in Virginia or New Jersey. Guess what? They were never going to. Like, was any reasonable person watching Virginia and New Jersey genuinely thinking they were going to flip red? Like, and if you really thought they were, I have a bridge to sell you. If you were so, like, look, we have a lot of momentum on the right now. Everything Trump is doing is working out for us. We're coming off the big Trump victory in November. Everything he's been doing has been working out. I hate to say it this way. I really do. I feel bad about this, but the Charlie Kirk assassination was a kind of a galvanizing moment for us. I think in a similar way that the attempted assassination against Trump was a galvanizing moment for us, but we're not going to clean sweep every single thing. Do we need to be better prepared for the midterms? Of course we do. Could we be doing better than we're currently doing now? Of course we can. But the fact that is the fact that New Jersey and Virginia didn't flip blue or didn't flip red. Is that the end of the world for us? No. Okay, New Jersey and Virginia are Democrat strongholds. California has the resolution, which is it's unfortunate that people voted for it. So now, they're going to get more House seats, which is a problem. The Democrats will get 5 more House seats, which is a problem. But again, not the end of the world. We knew this was coming. Zoran Mandani winning New York mayor. We knew this was coming. We knew it was going to happen. Like, why are we going to sit here and act like we're completely fucking like, oh my God, Silwa, whatever, however you pronounce his name, didn't become mayor of New York? No. There hasn't been a Republican mayor of New York since Giuliani almost 30 years ago. Like, come the fuck on. It wasn't a bloodbath. It was a predictable night of Democrats winning in Democrat strongholds. Like, not every it's disappointing, but not unexpected. We really need to stop treating every setback as the end of the world. It's exhausting. It's more, I think, like, watching the right melt down over this is more demoralizing than the losses that we suffered. I'm tired of, I'm tired of seeing it. We need to be happy warriors. I try to be. Like, yeah, I make videos about topics, things that make me angry, and I you know, I'm more than happy to talk about things when I'm pissed off. But, like, am I constantly just doomer pilled all the time? No, no, I'm not, because it's exhausting to live that way. I just can't do it. I wish everybody kind of thought that way. We still need to do better. We need to go. We need to get out and get stuff done. We need to go out and vote and all these things. But, like, the world is not coming to an end because Zoran Mamdani won the mayor's race in New York, which we've all known he was going to win for like the last 6 months or however long the campaign's been, like, national news. Ever since Zoran Mamdani became national news, we already knew he was going to win. Foregone conclusion. The Republicans lost every major contest in Tuesday night's elections in what happens to be a clear indicator of voter dissatisfaction with their governance since President Donald Trump took office. I mean, not really. If you really look into it, it's not that we had good Republican voter turnout in these blue areas. It's just that the Democrats were galvanized by Trump's victory, and they're galvanized by you know like the swell of support for Mamdani. Like they're having their kind of moment here. And it's not that we didn't do well, that we lost. Well, I mean, Silwa in New York was like he got absolutely trounced. But again, he's a Republican running for mayor of New York, whose name is not Giuliani. Like that was just he was never going to win. It was just never going to happen. Democrats made a clean sweep of Virginia's statewide races and even managed to pull the scandal-plagued Jay Jones over the line in the Attorney General's race. In New Jersey, Rep Mickey Sherrill defied Republican momentum to keep the state's blue streak alive. Again, see, here we go. It's the New Jersey was always blue. So was Virginia. Meanwhile, socialist Zoran Mondani managed to overcome a bipartisan effort to rally behind former Governor Andrew Cuomo, the Democrat from New York, to become the new mayor of New York City. Like Cuomo was a bad pick. They should have rallied behind. Like they should have picked somebody other than him to rally behind. Shouldn't have been him. Like they couldn't do Eric Adams. Him becoming friendly with Trump and his own like corruption scandals and all that stuff. They needed to find somebody better than Andrew Cuomo. Like after the way his term as governor ended, and the whole thing with the way he handled COVID, like in New York, it was a bad pick. Like almost like the powers that be in New York like set it up, and I'm not saying the New York mayor's election was rigged, but it was certainly like set up for Mondani to have the easiest path to victory he could have. And finally, California voters approved Prop 15 or Prop 50, not Prop 15, Jesus, allowing the state to circumvent the independent redistricting process that has been in effect in the state for nearly 2 decades. It approves a new congressional map that gives the Democrats a chance to gain up to 5 House seats in the uh, 2026 midterm elections. There was, in short, simply no silver lining for the GOP Tuesday evening whatsoever. While both Virginia and New Jersey are traditionally blue states and momentum tends to favor the out of power party in an off year election, the sheer scope of Democratic wins seems to suggest a more specific frustration with Republicans than just typical souring on the incumbent. There is a big influx of illegals, and illegals are voting, and the Democrats and the shit libs are, like I said, galvanized because by their hatred of Trump and his victory in this wasn't the midterms, okay? This wasn't federal elections. This was all state stuff. You know what I mean? Like the world didn't end Tuesday night. The outcome of the midterms was not set in stone Tuesday night. At least a few Republicans, for their part, seem willing to learn some lessons. Several pundits, moreover, deemed the contest a decisive repudiation of Trump's focus on foreign affairs at the expense of the economy. The economy's doing better. He won the election a year ago. He's 9 or 10 months into his term, and like, yes, has Trump been super focused on foreign affairs right now? Sure, yeah, but I suppose he thinks that his focus needs to be on stabilizing conflicts abroad so that he can. So war is bad for the world economy, just full stop. So granted, as much as I would like to not see him or as much as I would like to see him focus on domestic affairs, I could kind of understand the calculus of assuming that, like, if I can get peace in Ukraine and Russia, and I can get peace between Israel and Iran and Gaza and all this stuff, then, like, if I can get everything to stabilize, especially the Middle East, where there's a lot of trade that happens through the straits and the sea there. I'm completely blanking on the name of the sea, but where the Houthis are always attacking like trade ships and stuff like that. Like I could see the calculus. Even if I wish he would focus on domestic things first, I think you can do both. Um, Quote, Trump spent all year on the Middle East. His big donors loved this. The voters did not, said commentator Mike Cernovich. Quote, Virginia is going to be under a Democrat supermajority now. Keep listening to Mark Levin, Mr. President, and you'll be back to the impeachment trials in 2026. Again, see, this is what I'm talking about. First of all, I really don't like Mark Cernovich that much. I think he kind of sucks. But he didn't spend all year in the Middle East. He did spend most of his first term was spent on trying to, as I just said, on trying to settle conflicts abroad. You know, this idea though that that what happened on Tuesday night was a complete repudiation of Trump's folk. No, it wasn't. It can't be. You don't know that, Cernovich. That's impossible to know. New Yorkers voted for a brown foreigner to be their mayor. You know, Democrats voted for Democrats. Democrats in Democrat stronghold states voted for Democrat policies and Democrat politicians. This was always going to happen. Trump was never going to be the kingmaker in New Jersey. It just wasn't going to happen. Has New Jersey even had a Republican governor since Chris Christie? I don't think so. In Virginia, conservative pundits drew an array of conclusions from the Virginia results, with some pointing to candidate quality, others noting the likely impact of the government shutdown, and still more recognize the GOP's turnout issues. That's another thing. Is The government shutdown galvanized a lot of out of work federal employees to get out and vote, and to get out and vote against Trump. The Democrats retain control of both chambers of the state's legislature with big wins in the House of Delegates election. They won 64 seats so far, flipping at least 13 seats, according to the Associated Press. This will strengthen their hand in order to begin congressional redistricting, which is supported by Governor elect Spanberger. Republicans were absolutely crushed in Northern Virginia, with Arlington County, for instance, breaking more than 82% for Spanberger. Neighboring Fairfax County went 73% for her. Spanberger's margin against Republican Winsome Earl Sears ultimately cleared 13%. Lieutenant Governor Ghazala Hashmi, for her part, bested Republican John Reed by more than 9%, while Jones beat out incumbent GOP AG Jason Mayares by under 5%. Yeah, Jones, this Jim, what's his name? Not Jim Jones, Jesus Christ. Where was it? Jay Jones. Yeah, this is the guy who had the leaked text about, wanting people to die. And he still managed to win. That was a mask off moment for Democrats. The shutdown is probably the only reason Jay Jones won, opined conservative commentator Scott Greer. A state filled with government workers will overlook texts wishing death upon children if they believe the opposing party is blocking their paychecks. And, that's true. And of course, these Democrats are not willing to see that this shutdown was caused by Schumer and not by Trump. While the wildly disparate margins reflect some variations in candidate quality and the impact of Jones' scandal, other conservative pundits drew different conclusions from the Virginia races. When Trump isn't on the ballot, low propensity voters stay home. We saw these same patterns in every election since 2016, conservative commentator Mike Cernovich opined. Republicans win with Trump. Without him, they can't bring out the vote. Trump notably did not campaign for Earl Sears, who made minimal mentions of him while on the campaign. His get out the vote message for Virginians, meanwhile, only referenced Mayares. New Jersey, New York, though generally considered a blue state, the GOP enjoyed reasonable odds of winning the governor's mansion, with Republican Jack Ciattarelli, Ciattarelli, however you pronounce that Italian ass bullshit, polling competitively with Cheryl ahead of Tuesday evening's contest. Nevertheless, Cheryl ultimately crushed Ciattarelli, whatever, by a lead of more than 13% as of 10 p.m. on Tuesday evening. Just over the state border, moreover, Zohran Mamdani, an avowed socialist, defeated Cuomo and ultimately earned more support than the combined totals of the former governor and Republican Curtis Sliwa. Yeah, Curtis Sliwa As you saw by the thumbnail, he got absolutely bodied. Ahead of the elections, Republican aligned pollsters were warning that Trump's lurch towards foreign affairs had prompted discontent with younger voters, many of whom backed him to handle domestic economic concerns. The economy's doing better. Not like it's not the complete 180 that people expected Trump to pull off in his first year in office, but it is doing better. It's just, it's a very what have you done for me lately kind of attitude. Quote, tonight's results need to be a wake up call to the White House and the GOP. Stop focusing on foreign affairs, stop entangling us in endless conflicts, and focus at home on bread and butter issues for working people, constitutional lawyer and pundit Robert Barnes said. Quote, the Republican Party is filled with losers. They were dead until Donald Trump came along. Pollster Richard Barris said on election night, I've been screaming for months about this. Quote, I don't care what's going on in Ukraine. I don't care what's going on in Venezuela. I don't care about any of this, he said. These voters were dramatically impacted by the shutdown. The MAGA agenda that these people all voted for all over the country was designed to make their lives better. Give it back to the people who voted for you and make their lives better, or maybe you can salvage this before it's too late. Former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn, for his part, insisted that it represented voter dissatisfaction with Republicans in Congress. Quote, today's message to the GOP, this is in all caps, get your shit together fast and start doing stuff. The American people are fed up with politics and your political bullshit. We want action, he said. Yeah. So, like, this is none of these outcomes are good. It would be great if, right wing candidates and Republicans won everything all the time. But you can't expect that. That's impossible, especially in blue strongholds. Should the Republicans everywhere, state and federal, at the state and federal level, Trump himself and the cabinet, should they take what happened Tuesday night and really kind of go back to the drawing board? Sure. Of course, you should always take all data and try to make something out of it. Is this a portent of the coming bloodbath in the midterms that we're going to completely lose the House and the Senate and that Trump is going to, his final term in office, he's not going to be able to get anything done because nothing but Democrats? No, I don't think so. I think there's still plenty of momentum. I just think we need to lock in and get shit done. But yeah, let me know what you think below. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed and like the video and follow all my links and sub to all my other channels and follow me on X and come check out the game streams. Yeah, I'm a little late today with that. I'm just a little late in general. And but anyway, today it's been a hell of a day for me from a personal perspective. But it's all everything's fine. I'm not black pill. This is Tuesday. What happened Tuesday night is disappointing, but not unexpected.